adoption trends. Before starting the discussion, I would like to discuss the one problem which is Bloom to Sigma problem. The Bloom's, according to Bloom's, if one student take one-to-one tutoring, and in another case when a teacher and in class minimum 50 to 60 students, so one-to-one tutoring, one-to-one tutoring when a student get, so it improve 98% from the other normal classes, and it is benefit for the student, but it is it is not easy for attention. It is not at sorry if if teacher attend every student, so it is not possible. So we need some AI platforms like Alex, ALO7 and Squirrel AI. First discuss the Squirrel AI. It is a Chinese AI driven platform for fully personalized tutoring, adopts in real time to student progress and gaps, promotes self-paced and efficient learning. Alex adaptive platform by MC Grohl focus on STEM subject, identify knowledge gaps and customizes learning paths. ALO7 ALO7 is different from both Alex and Squirrel AI, because Squirrel AI and Alex promote only AI and it does not support the teachers. But in ALO7, it assists the teacher rather than replacing it. So English learning platform combining with AI with human teacher, gamified interactive learning, supports blended learning models, ethical and operational challenges. There are some challenges in AI platforms algorithm. By 63% of AI systems shows demographic disparities. Data privacy, only 41% comply with global privacy standards. Teacher displacement, up to 18% reduction in roles of 2030. Implementation barriers, institutional resistance, 42% of schools unsure about AI tools. Infrastructure limitation, especially in the global south. Curriculum misalignment, adaptive paths versus standardized goals. And the conclusion is AI revolutionizes learning but comes with ethical and logistical challenges. Must ensure fairness, privacy, and teacher inclusion. Augment, not replace teachers, are central to holistic education. Balance with inclusive policy making is essential. And there are references of 47 papers list. If you have any query, please ask.
Hello? Explain what is the meaning of blended learning models. Can you explain the meaning of blended? It supports AL07 supports blended learning models. Can you explain?
Sir, ALO7 is giving support to the teachers and assist also, but Alex and Squirrel AI not support.
Can you explain the meaning of blended learning models? What is the meaning of this one?
Sir, ALO7 is assessment learning, where they take assessment first and they check the students how they can how they weakness and strengths. So according to this, they make their curriculum.
What is the meaning of STEM? You mentioned Alex focus on STEM subjects. What are the STEM subjects?
So STEM subject are those subjects in which They provide how on which topic they have to focus.
Example?
If a student weak in like maths according to giving test, so they provide the modules that to the topic to which they have to do and read.
What is the performance time?
Uh,
You can ask. Anyone is having some questions?
Anybody have questions?
You said that AI in 7 assists the teachers. In which way it will assist?
Like using chat GPT, if you ask some question, you giving the prompt, so they will write.
Many platforms are there for this assistant. What is the difference in your
When it is interactive and it provides gamify, like playing the games, it will provide knowledge about topics.
gaming is not the part of teaching so much? How
No,
it
man,
will
it gives you as a puzzle problem to understand.
what is the difference in other technology and that you are explaining?
It also provides data for the students, how they're performing. Thank you. Thank you. We now welcome Aditya Singh, author of paper ID 661, to present his paper.
Nowadays, if we imagine the world where there is no 5G, it's quite devastating. It's like sitting on a couch waiting for screen to go buffer and wait and all. So it is quite devastating. But on the other hand, on the contrary, we are in the world where it is 5G is flourished all over the market. And we can just download a quick HD content or any video in just a small snap of time, where we can even grab a cup of coffee and we are ready to go with our downloaded video or content. So, good afternoon everyone. I, Aditya Singh, is here to present my research paper and let you deep dive into the concept in the one of the biggest concepts and advancements in mobile networks, 5G, and how 5G has created impact on mobile computing and network performance. As the latest revolution in wireless communication, 5G has become a pivotal technique revolutionizing mobile connectivity and network information. As the fifth generation of wireless communication standards, 5G represents a significant leap beyond the capabilities of 4G LTE. Rather than offering mere incremental improvements, 5G offers major advancements in speed, network capacity, and connectivity. Operating within the millimeter wave spectrum, 5G integrates cutting-edge technologies such as beamforming, massive MIMO, and network slicing to achieve dramatically superior performances. We also covers all the literary surveys that happen on this topic. Over the past decade, the advancements in wireless communication has dramatically reshaped the landscape of mobile computing and network performance. Several studies examined how 5G improves mobile computing and network performance by enabling devices to handle larger volume of data, support real-time applications, and offer seamless connectivity in high-dense network environments. These improvements make it possible to implement technologies like AR and VR, cloud-based mobile applications with much greater efficiency and responsiveness. 5G is now adopted by every technology and every industry because every industry requires three major things that are ultra fast data speed, ultra low latency, and enhanced network capacity. And 5G provides all of that. Even in gaming sector, if we see, 5G is playing a major role. The government is even emphasizing to increase India at gaming sector to make India at global level. Recently, BGI is one of the biggest events of BGMI just ended, and 5G made an important role there because all the devices were running very smoothly with low latency. 5G is not just about speeds, it's about ultra low latency, meaning near instant communication between devices. This will make real-time applications like online gaming smoother than ever for businesses. It is a game changer. Faster data processing and even networks. They have the ability to support massive connected devices. We studied all the reference papers and found all the limitations which we can come across and mentioned all the overcoming techniques in our research paper. One of the major limitation is high infrastructure cost. 5G requires dense deployment of small cells and upgrades of existing infrastructure, which is costly and time consuming. Overcoming techniques includes public-private partnership and phased deployment instead of using major deployment of small cells. Second limitation that we come across was limited coverage and penetration. High-frequency wave bands used in 5G have poor penetration through walls of buildings and limited range. Overcoming techniques which we can use is we can use beamforming, massive MIMO, and extend coverage. Beamforming is basically directing wireless technology to a particular area rather than spreading it all over. Third limitation that we came across was energy consumption. 5G based stations and devices consume more power due to high data rates and processing needs. We can overcome it by implementing energy efficient hardware, sleep modes of basic solutions, and intelligent power management algorithms. Fourth and the final problem that we came across was device compatibility. The limitations were that existing devices may not support 5G, requiring users to upgrade hardware. The overcoming technique was to promote development to backward compatible chipsets and subsidized 5G devices in order to adoption of industry incentives. So I would conclude, in a nutshell, I would like to conclude that we are on the verge of new digital era and 5G is the heart of it. But we should also focus on the limitations and how we can overcome them. Thank you.
So what are the issues and challenges in 5G? What are the issues and challenges in 5G?
Sir, the major issue that we came across was first it had high infra cost because we have to develop high density small chipsets. So we can overcome it by using public-private partnerships and phased deployment. Also, when we talk about speed, sometimes the speed can also render it. So we can use beamforming. Beamforming is basically a technique where we can particulate or give a particular direction to all the wireless signals so that it can be focused on a particular task at a time rather than spreading it all over. And sir, one of the other was like the limited coverage and penetration because sometimes 5G networks are not able to penetrate through the walls of building. So we can use beamforming and massive MIMO techniques, multiple input, multiple outputs.
So does 5G support EMLP?
What's up?
Does 5G support EMLP, enhanced mobile broadband? Do 5G networks support EMLP, enhanced mobile broadband?
I will have to look into it.
So what are the main three components of 5G?
Main three components,
In
sir.
terms of applications.
Sir, it has low latency, high data speed, and
In 5G, what is it called? Latency is called in which category? Low latency?
what, sir?
Low latency. Ultra? Very low latency. UR latency.
Oh,
Okay. Other one?
sir, high data speed transfer and network performance improvement.
IoT supports 5G. IoT. Do you have IoT in 5G? IoT, you know what is IoT?
I am not able to understand.
Do you know what is IoT? IoT.
IoT, Internet of Things.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
5G support IoT.
Yes, sir. Basically, right now 5G is not in that, not supporting it properly, but in future it will support. I have looked into it, but it will support.
No, you were saying almost in all companies 5G is using,
Yes.
they are adapted. And you have not explained which type of methodology they are using. You are giving me idea now. 5G they are using, then which type of methodology they will use. Advancement you are telling na, in 5G.
Yes, sir.
Then how it will get advanced?
Uh, that's what I have mentioned. Na, ki what are the limitations that I come across while referring all the reference pages, and what are the overcoming techniques?
Almost all companies adapted this 5G technology and three methodologies are using, they are using. Then so what these three methodologies?
That's what I was telling, that the main three methodologies or the main three features, that is, it has less jitter and low latency rate, then it has high speed, and then it has...
How they will reduce all that? And some
Well,
mathematics.
these are the major three points of 5G network that come with 5G. They do not have to do any things like to reduce latency. 5G supports less latency.
Means many companies are working for 5G and all that. They will try to reduce the latency. Then main thing is how, if you are giving an idea, then how it will reduce.
5G supports less latency, but if they are facing the problem of less latency, they can use beamforming. Beamforming is like, instead of serving multiple computers at a time, we can focus on those computers which are particularly more used, or we want them to be less latent. So we can use beamforming. We can particulate the direction of the wireless communication signals in a particular direction.
Yes. What is jitter?
What?
Explain the meaning of jitter. In the first column you mentioned.
Sir, jitter means the stability of a device. How stable the device is moving, how smoothly the device is working. It means like frame rate. How like the speed, how जितना ज़्यादा frame rate होगा उतना better होगा. जितना ज़्यादा FPS frame rate होगा, frame per second होगा, उतना better होगा. तो it maintains the.
That is delay, na? If the frames are going slow, that is delay.
If they are, yes, if FPS is low, then we face the problem of delay. If FPS is high, we don't face the problem of delay. Jitter means stability.
What is the bandwidth? The bandwidth of 5G?
I don't know.
What is bandwidth? What is bandwidth? You know?
I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Shubham Mishra of paper ID 713 for his presentation of paper.
Each presenter should increase each presenter should increase their name in which course the presenter has to increase the plus first.
रैंक पे गिर जाके ये मेरी आज की हो जाएगी ये मेरा लैपटॉप नहीं है ना मैं
Good evening, everyone. I am Shubham Mishra.
उसके बाद इसके
Good evening, everyone. I am Shubham Mishra, a student of Maharaja Agarsen Institute of Technology. I would like to begin sincerely thanking the organizers of IAMC 2025 for giving me this opportunity to present my research paper. Today, I will be sharing my work on AI-powered home remedy advisor, a system that combines traditional healthcare wisdom with modern artificial intelligence to make remedy suggestion more accessible, especially for minor ailments. Let us begin by understanding the motivation and problem this project aims to solve. Our motivation stems
of lack of intelligent systems that can interpret systems and suggest reliable home remedies. The objective was to build a multimodal AI solution that can analyze both text and images using OCR, medicinal plant recognition, and large language models. This system aims to offer personalized real-time advice, especially in underserved communities. Slide 3. For literature surveys, in the literature, we found various AI applications in healthcare, but a noticeable gap exists in integrating OCR and plant recognition for home remedies. Tools like PySdirect and CNN-based models are used in different domains. We extended their use healthcare and added LLMs for symptom understanding. Together, these modalities offer a smart approach to everyday healthcare. In methodology, we involve several components like we use NLTK and regress for text processing, PySdirect for OCR, OpenCV for image processing, and fine-tuned BERT models for symptom analysis. The application was built using Streamlit for the front end and Flask for the backend. Remedy suggestion we generated using the both basic rule and logic and deep learning models. In slide 5 of result and discussion, our system was tested on symptom inputs varying length ranging from 10 to 235 characters. The model performed consistently, showing an adaptability to both short and detailed descriptions. The flexibility is essential for practical use. For model performance and conclusion of system highlights, using a 80-20 data split and 10-fold cross-validation, our BERT and CNN model achieved 86% accuracy with a FI score of 82.9%. Our system highlights integrated PySdirect deep learning, medical plant recognition, capable of analyzing both text images and real-time system for remedy suggestion. There was a problem arises when we start thinking that we are developing this project. What is the use? What is the different that everyone is going to install our project? So, to create an intelligent multimodal AI system that provides a real-time personalized home remedy solution for minor health issues and analyzes the text images. The system aims to bridge the gap between the traditional knowledge and the digital healthcare, to improve the access to reliable home remedies, especially to understand our rural areas. Utilized technologies like OCR, medical plant recognition, large language model to interpret the symptoms accurately and recommend for suitable treatments. But when there is a problem, then there is a solution. The problem is fine about 6 months ago, and this problem has started with myself. I was moved to another city for 2 months, and when I was there, I have a disease called jaundice. And this problem arises. I was severely health issues about 20 days, but I have no one to save me because I don't know about all the things and traditional methods to help her and improve the medical. जैसे हम क्या नाम है घर पे रहते हैं, हम लोगों को क्या नाम है अच्छे खाने मिलते हैं और हम अलग अलग सिटीज में चले जाते हैं. इस ऐप का क्या नाम है मेन फोकस इसलिए है जो 19 एज से 29 एज के गैप में अलग अलग बच्चे अपने घर से उठ के अलग अलग सिटीज जाते हैं, कुछ कॉलेजेस के लिए जाते हैं, कुछ अपने ऑफिस बनाने के लिए जाते हैं, अपने करियर के लिए जाते हैं. स्टार्टिंग में सब लोग मेरे ख्याल से पीजीज रहते हैं, रेंट लेते हैं, उनकी हेल्थ उस हिसाब से नहीं होती जिस हिसाब से उनको घर पे न्यूट्रिशन अच्छा मिलता है, जिसकी वजह से वो बीमार पड़ते हैं. ये हमारा ऐप ये एम करता है, ये हमारा आइडिया इस वजह से है बिकॉज मेरे पास ऐसी सिचुएशन आई और मैं भी उसको सॉल्व नहीं कर पाया. फिर ये प्रॉब्लम ऐसी अराइज हुई, हमने सोचा कि कुछ हम ऐसा बना सके जिसके अंदर हमारी आयुर्वेदा और प्लस ओरल प्रिस्क्रिप्शन को मिला के कुछ ऐसा हम कुछ क्रिएट कर सके ताकि हम एक नए फ्यूचर के लिए आगे बढ़ सके. फॉर द कंक्लूजन ऑफ दिस प्रोजेक्ट, This project is a small step toward bridging the gap between the traditional healthcare practices and modern AI technology by integrating OCR, plant recognition, and deep learning models. There is a problem also arises, and you may have a question that we can also use this for the chat GPT or other AI models, just like Practo and online doctor recommendation solutions. Our next step and future approach is also like this, that in the meantime, when the project is heavily developed and it is ready for the testing for the public, we will aiming to introduce the doctors and prescribe them a medical and also their healthcare symptoms for just like night stay, जब जैसे हम कभी बार रात में बीमार पड़ जाते हैं, उठ नहीं पाते हैं, just like the idea is also adapted from the Astro Stage AI. You everyone know Astro Stage AI का नाम है, रात को 2 बजे भी क्या नाम है हमारा वहाँ मीटिंग करके सब कुछ बता सकता है. ये एक आइडिया है, हमने सजेस्ट किया है, मतलब मैंने खुद अप्रोच करने की कोशिश करी है. फ्यूचर वर्क हमारा इसमें ही रहेगा कि अभी ये हमें क्या नाम है मदद करेगा, जैसे कि आपने क्या नाम है सुबह कुछ भी खाया, उल्टा सीधा भी खा लिया, जैसा भी होगा, ये एक चैटबॉट रहेगा. आप इसके ऊपर बताएंगे कि आपने क्या खाया, मतलब जैसे भी थोड़े बहुत उल्टे खा लिए, जैसे भी आपने जो भी खाया, तो ये एनालाइज करेगा कि क्या पता आपने ऐसे ऐसे खाया होगा, ये आपको सजेशन देगा. बिकॉज ये अभी अप्रूव नहीं है और इसका क्या नाम है यूजर टेस्टिंग के लिए हम इसको छोड़ नहीं सकते, बट ये एक आइडिया है जो आगे चल के हम सोचते हैं रेवोल्यूशन क्रिएट कर सकता है. इन द एंड आई बिलीव दिस वर्क हैज द पोटेंशियल टू इवॉल्व इनटू अ प्रैक्टिकल टूल दैट एम्पावर्स पीपल टू टेक अ बेटर care for their health using knowledge that has existed in our household for the generation. For example, नानी के नुस्खे सब लोग जानते हैं, और हमारा एक आइडिया ये भी ऐसी था, मतलब हम इसको ट्राई कर लिखने में सब ऐसे बताया करते थे कुछ टाइम किया. Thank you so much for your time, attention, and I will be happy to any questions.
I'm having small questions. I will mention whenever there is a problem, you will have a solution. Okay, mention. Explain this. When there is a problem, there is a solution.
Yes, sir.
Explain what is the solution.
Sir, the problem, अगर हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि आपने मैंने ये बात बोली थी कि जब भी एक प्रॉब्लम आती है तो उसका एक सॉल्यूशन आता है. सर ये प्रॉब्लम आई मेरे साथ सबसे पहले जब मैं 2 महीने के लिए सर मुंबई गया था, मेरे कुछ पर्सनल बिजनेस के काम की वजह से, और मैं ही क्या नाम है सर मैं ही सफर कर गया हूँ हेल्थ केयर के ऐसे इंडस्ट्री की वजह से. अगर मैं घर पे रहता, अच्छे मेरे को प्रॉपर न्यूट्रिशन मिलते, ये मेरे को क्या नाम है अच्छे खाने मिलते, तो मेरे को जॉन्डिस नहीं होता, जिसकी वजह से सर मेरा 20 दिन हॉस्पिटल में नहीं जाना पड़ता और मेरे को घर पे भी 10 दिन के लिए बेड रेस्ट मिला था. बट ऐसे ये ऐप हमें क्या नाम है ये ऐप में आगे चल के एक ऐसे अप्रोच बनने वाला है कि जैसे कि आपको ये बीमारी के साथ साथ मतलब जो आपको दिक्कत है वो तो देगा, प्लस आपकी डेली रूटीन, जैसे कि आप कोई से भी फिटनेस गोल को भी अचीव करना चाहते हैं, जैसे कि आपको वेट लॉस करना है, आपको थोड़ा बेटर पोस्चर लाना है, आपको अपनी डाइट इंप्रूव करनी है, आपको अपने एज ग्रुप के अकॉर्डिंग कैसे खाना, कैसे न्यूट्रिशन, क्या क्या आपको बेनिफिट हो सकता है, वो आपको हेल्प करेगा.
Here, where the conclusion you mentioned, achieve integrated development. There is a proof of these points. You have to show now. We are just mentioning I have achieved and integrated. Where is a flow chart? How you are training? Where is a proof? You are not showing those things. You are saying I have achieved. There is no proof. There is no blog.
Sir, I know I have not mentioned in slides about the proofs, but this project is under developing. It's not ready for the public use, and I have also the code and the algorithms in my PC.
Well, you have something to show. Even though it is minimal, some algorithm, even though it is at this stage.
Sir, the code is.
You are just showing conclusions without any validations.
Sir, these are the assumption about how this project can be further move and have this kind of approaches and conclusions. This is the idea, sir.
Idea is not having any, currently not having any proofs to show how you are integrating, how you have achieved these precision values. See, these numbers which are showing and these values which are showing, at least somewhere you have to show the I'm just showing numbers without having any validations is not the thing. Anyway.
Yes, sir. I understand that you are saying, which is a good point. but the report is under development and the project is also under development, sir. I can show the code what is going under the thing. I have a website prototype which is mentioned in my.
Do you want to show an example? With this, at least one or two variations that you want to show.
Sir, currently I don't have anything to show. Any questions?
आपने कहा नानी के नुस्खे टाइप है कि कोई क्यों आपके नुस्खों पर बिलीव करेगा और अपनी हेल्थ को जो है रिस्क में देगा दैट कोई क्वालिफाइड डॉक्टर नहीं बताता कि आपको ये यूज करना।
मैम अगर हम किसी क्वालिफाइड डॉक्टर के पास भी जाते हैं ना, हम इंडियंस है ना, हमारे पास ना एक जगह पे जब भी जाओ ना उस पर भरोसा जल्दी नहीं करते। आप जब तक क्या नाम है किसी भी डॉक्टर को 4-5 अलग-अलग अपनी ही रिपोर्ट को नहीं दिखाते तो आप एक डॉक्टर पे भी भरोसा नहीं करते।
हम अपनी नानी के नुस्खे यूज कर सकते हैं, किसी और की नानी के नुस्खे यूज नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि हमें क्या पता उसकी नानी कैसा बता रही है।
वेल मैम आपने ये अच्छा जो कहा कि हम अपने नानी की यूज कर सकते हैं, बट ये एक आइडिया है, अप्रोच है और इसको निकनेम के तौर पे मैंने बोला था कि नानी के अप्रोच जस्ट लाइक नानी के नुस्खे। इट इज नॉट एक्चुअली अ नानी के नुस्खे टाइप। एनीथिंग एल्स? थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you. I would like to call upon Priyansha Sachdev with paper ID 674 to deliver her presentation.
Time limit is 10 minutes.
Please introduce yourself first to the starting.
Sure, sir. So, I'm Kansha. To give a brief introduction about my topic, I would like to quote an example.
You are a student? You are a student
Yes,
of this
sir.
college?
Yes, sir.
Which year?
So, 4th year. To give a starting example, like a car makes a strange sound before breaking down, the same is the voice with our voice. Before we are going to get unwell, we sometimes have a voice, we can identify that we are going to get unwell through our voice only. And this is the title of our paper, Cardiac, when your voice knows before you do. Okay, so basic outline. So like we use a smart watch to track the heartbeat, in the similar way we want to track the voice and our health issues, especially the neurological disorders and the vocal disorders, using the voice and the AI potential in detecting them. So we are actually using the speech biomarkers and employing the machine learning techniques in identifying what kind of a neurological disease you might be having in the future, especially for Parkinson's and Alzheimer, for the training data set we have taken there. So basically voice is something that we are using every day when we are communicating something, or we are having a discussion over something, or we are like telling someone something. To just quote an example, okay, I will do. This sound seems like I am least interested in doing something. But if I say it like, okay, I will do, it seems like I am interested in doing something. So the voice is actually communicating the sentiment, whether I am interested or whether I am not. In the similar way, we are detecting what kind of a health or neurological disorder or vocal disorder can a person have in future, and this can be done using AI that is built, and we are building a transparent, reproducible and scalable AI pipeline. We aim to bridge the gap between the complex clinical diagnostics, like when we are going for a diagnostic, it takes a long period of time, and similar tests are being done that we are actually enhancing with the help of the AI. And this is an innovation in healthcare that is making the detection possible with limited resources. So these are some of the literature surveys that we have done. These 5 were the papers that are the basis for our further paper. And not only this thing, but these researches had some gaps which we have tried to improvise with the help of our research. The 4 key objectives of our research work. First one was to analyze the acoustic features, that was extracting the physical features like of the voice, that was jitter, shimmer, pitch variation and harmonic. The second was to detect the temporal variation, like when we are speaking something, then observing the speech. like how much gap we are taking for the breathe, or whether we are stammering, or whether there is like a person is having confusion or any kind of that thing. The third one was extract the speech biomarkers that would be the key identifier for recognizing whether a person is having a neurological disorder or a vocal disorder, or it's like for a short period of time and it can be treated, or a long period of time a disease is there. The fourth was building a predictive model. The predictive model here, we mean by predictive model is not the prediction thing, but predictive model is like we have built and trained a main file which can be used for any kind of like data set that is available for the voices. The methodological overview. For the data collection, we have collected the audio files from various medical data sites, and they were in the form of MC4 and WAVE. Then second was done the feature extraction. For the feature extraction, we have used the open source AI that was available like the Para and Leprosa. Then for the data processing, like since we are building a model, it was necessary to do the normalization, cleaning for making a better, and the final was building up and evaluating a proper model. Okay, so here are some of the features that we have actually identified. The first one was the fundamental frequency, which is regarding the pitch. And the main component here that incorporated was, like we know the frequency is indirectly proportional to the time period. And you can see the green one is for the normal voice, and the purple one and the orange one is for the abnormal voice. So we can know that for a violin plot, if it's a normal voice, then the bulb region and the tail region will be in a proper matter, they will be continuous. To identify the continuation, the graph is similarly plotted for the same, and whenever there is a disorder, it will be discontinuous. For this, FPM and MLP classifiers were being used. The second thing is the speech duration. So for how long we are able to speak, like for which duration we are speaking. And in that, again, whether we are tempering or stammering kind of a thing. For a normal voice, the tail is going to be a bit long. For if a person is stammering, then the speech duration is of course going to be a short. They will take a break after each word. So that's why the tail region is short. Then comes the pitch period entropy. So the pitch period entropy is like, if I am speaking in a low voice, it means like whether I am having depression, or I am not willing to communicate, or I am not willing to speak. So it's a sign that you might be having some disease or not. So for this reason, we again can see the tail part. So the tail part is something, for the normal one, it is a continuous. Whereas for the disorder, it is like a discontinuous. You can see it is bulging out at some places, then it is getting narrower and then again bulging out. Then the detrended fluctuation analysis was being done. So it's like a time series analysis which was being done on the pitch, the earlier parameters that were being done. And in this, we don't consider the tail region because we are not taking how the person is speaking or not. So here the bulb region is only considered to get draw the conclusion and all. So especially if a person, abnormal person is there, then it means that they are having motor controller diseases, like the brain is not responding well with that. Then comes the jitter. Jitter is basically your cycle to cycle difference in the pitch. And again, for cycle to cycle difference for a normal voice, definitely it is good. The tail region is going to be small because they are not taking very big gaps, whereas the disorder one is going to take a very gap or a pause in between. The same is for shimmer. But in shimmer, we are not considering the pitch, we are considering the amplitude part. And then we come to the mean period between the pulses. So again, it's the time difference, how much break it is taking, like for breathing, or whether because of stammer or because of tremor. So it actually a mean period between the pulses generally higher for people with old age. It's a common thing in them. So we can identify using this also. The standard deviation of period is somewhat similar to the mean period between the pulses, but the main difference between that is here the difference is not continuous, it can be discontinuous also. And the number of puzzles, of course, in 1 minute, how much you are able to speak. For everything, the basic idea, the algorithms that were being used, for the first one was the open source AI, the Para and the SHAP. And then after gradient boosting algorithms were being used, for gradient boosting algorithms, we have used the XGBoost algorithm, then random forest and decision tree algorithms have been used for carrying out this research. So here's the result, like the fundamental frequency variation in F naught indicated neuromotor and vocal fold control empowerment. The jitter, increased jitter detected frequency instability, and shimmer, higher shimmer reflects the amplitude instability in the voice signal. The pitch period entropy is evaluated value signal irregular pitch variations, and DFA, the value suggests disrupted phonatory stability. And then the mean period between the pulses, like the change in the frequency and the vocal timing. And standard deviation is like coordination issue, it might be there. The number of pulses out of the irregular pulse count reflected phonatory. And also the speech duration, again, how the short the speech is or how the long the speech is. And the fundamental frequencies about variation indicated in the pitch instability. Coming to the conclusion is like since AI is now the necessity, the AI can enhance and can actually be a more beneficial solution in detecting whether what's going on and how come it can be detected easily. And of course, the prevention is better than cure. The earlier we diagnose this disease, the earlier we will be able to prevent it.
So I have two questions. So the first thing is your analysis. How are you taking care of error rate?
Error range.
Error calculations.
Okay, sir. So for the error calculation, for this we have taken into consideration the error range that is being taken medically. For if like for every kind of a disease, jitter shimmer is something that is being actually analyzed medically. Also, when you are going for an analysis of like Parkinson or Alzheimer kind of a thing. So the same range criteria was being used here, and the same values were being fixed to analyze the same thing.
So how are you implementing these techniques? Which software are you using?
So for the open, we have used Para and Sharp for initial implementation for parsing it through the AI. And after that, we have generally written a code for ourselves and we have made developed our own modules.
So in case of AI, can you mention what are different algorithms you have in this model?
Yes, sir. So gradient boosting algorithms, like I earlier said, like this thing has been done. So earlier the gradient boosting algorithm that was being used for this research was AdaBoost. To enhance that, we have used XGBoost so that like a large amount of data set can be trained and of course the speed can be increased.
So in case of trading, what is the IPO value setting?
Sorry.
IPO rate. IPO.
For HIPPO value, we have set it to be 9 point something, the 9 point.
So are you having flowchart algorithm for this payment? Slides? Flowchart.
So I have.
Can you show the flowchart?
So we currently have like only the result one and a basic one.
Algorithm? Are you having algorithm? Flowchart or algorithm anything? So you're not waiting? So what is the future work you want to show?
What's the future work? The future work can be like earlier the thing that was available on the internet, the earlier studies that were developed were not something that can be directly implemented like a use case, like a product thing. The thing that we have developed right now, we have made it like something that can be easily integrated into a web-based thing and can be easily used further as a company product and all.
So in the meantime, you can search and present a review. If you find, you can show.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
If somebody is asking, ask audience if they have anything to ask. That's what it means. Ask your friends.
What are the acoustic parameters that you are using for the data distribution?
Sorry.
Acoustic parameters.
So for acoustic parameters, definitely stammering, tremor and all we have taken into consideration.
And how you calculate the standard deviation in this? How you calculate the standard deviation in this?
Yes, sir. We have used like the SPM and again the para thing to calculate the standard deviation thing. The para is a software that is specially developed on AI for the sound thing, and through which when you are passing the data set, there are already formed algorithms on that which passes it and like you get the result for the same.
This type of work is already done. What is new in this?
So the new thing in this is like the earlier one, the model that is being built up is like very limited to only one thing. So like if a model is being built up, it is then limited to Parkinson only. It will work on Parkinson only. But this one is like you can have a Parkinson data set also, Alzheimer data set also, everything goes to 100. And the second thing that is there is like I told like the earlier algorithms that were being used were gradient routing algorithms especially, were the adaptive algorithms and all. The decision tree and if I talk about the rainforest algorithm, it is much more higher than that one because rainforest algorithm is a combination of multiple decision trees. So it is actually enhancing the efficiency at the same point of time. It is actually giving much more accurate results as it was given previously, and it has a use case implementation also.
Thank you. We now welcome Nandini Sharma, author of paper ID 712, to present her paper.
My name is Nandini and I am a second year CSC student. Today I am presenting a review paper on humanoids, recent developments, challenges and ethical issues in future integration. So humanoids are robots which are aimed to be a human replica. They are basically designed to act like human. The way they talk, the way they interact with each other, everything, it should be like human-like and natural, not like robotic. So these humanoids help in many real-world tasks like healthcare, education, manufacturing, and more, especially the human-like interaction is needed. So today's humanoids currently use AI sensors and advanced mechanics to improve tasks like grasping objects, walking, and decision making. Robots like Armor 6, which is a newly developed robot, they learn new tasks over time using natural conversation. So they use the conversations which they are having the interaction with humans to learn and adapt themselves without having the need to reprogram themselves. So they work on using natural conversation and human feedback, like how we teach each other. So basically, human-like nature of play. Then basically the key here is that robots should be able to talk naturally with humans and with each other. If robots understand our language, then we can make them understand better, and they can learn faster and are able to adapt. Like we have reviewed a lot of papers in this process. The first one was human-machine interaction for upper extremities. So in this, they discuss about a new technology called media guide, which was developed by Google. And basically this technology is that instead of using special sensors, they use a longer camera for vision-based tracking and to follow the human arm movements. So this will include the real-time robot control and increase the accuracy. So it basically uses the media guide and Python Arduino for joint control. Next we have for Chengadol is X body, that is expressive full body movement, which uses reinforcement learning to fully examine the whole full body movement. And it uses reinforcement learning with full body motion training. It is still being developed for teaching the robots to be natural in this, so it's a still newly developed model. Next we have Okami. Okami. So in this, robots learn object handling from a single RGBD video, where on one side the video is there and on the other side the depth is explained. So this will reduce the need for multiple demonstrations. So with minimal examples, the robots can learn efficiently. Next we have the EMP model, where robots are taught to work like humans basically. So the movements are made smoother and more lightweight. Then next we have large language models, where it is used for robot interactions and conversations, which make the robots more sociable, but it still lacks deep reasoning. So it can talk with people, but if we go into sensitive areas like therapy and where basically human interaction is a sensitive topic, there it still lacks. Then we have R4FJ, which stands for Robots for Social Justice. So this framework is promoting fairness in robot design and interaction. It basically follows the E4FJ principles. E4FJ is ethics for social justice. It includes 4 principles: equity, transparency, accountability, and inclusion. So basically they are saying to use these principles in human-robot interaction. Next we have, they have built a vision system using a tiny YOLO. And it is used for fast object detection model, as YOLO stands for you only look once. So in one look, they are able to detect the motion fastly, and they have also improved decision making in real time for the mobile robots. So robot size is also decreased. Then we have humanoid gym, which is the last one. So they have set up like we have training gyms. Similarly, there are humanoid gyms like Isaac Gym and Myojogo, where robots learn in simulation. So they are not, they are learning in simulation and not in practical examples. Then, so this is basically an example of how Armor 6 learns. So as it is seen that the robot is talking with the human and learning itself. That in this example, you understand tasks like bringing a sponge or bringing a ladder through natural language, and later remembers to bring the ladder automatically. So we don't have to reprogram it, and it will learn itself by the real-time feedback it's getting. So this is called incremental learning. This is a major basic model for humanoids, which is being developed more and more to make the humanoids more human-like. Then we have innovations in this. So first one we have talked just now, Armor 6 incremental learning. Then we have shared knowledge system. Basically, this is a system which both human and robots both can understand easily, and this improves the teamwork, work effort, and they are able to understand each other better. Then we have large language models. Like GPT also changing how robots understand us. Instead of only using voice commands, it is able to analyze the gestures, gaze, and posture, creating a more natural human-like interaction. Then, for movement part, the traditional method was slow and rigid and not really human-like. So, a new model called Hover was made, which allowed the robot to switch between walking and manipulation. That is, that the robot can walk and grab the object at the same time. It doesn't need to start from the scratch for another model. So in short, the current tech makes humanoid models more adaptable, interactive, and closer to how we function in real life. Basically, moving closer to our goal in the future. Then we have various applications of humanoids right now. The first one is healthcare and elder care. So now robot is being developed for healthcare and elder care. Now robot is being used in therapy and to interact with elderly. So it can recognize speech and expressions, and it can engage with users naturally by copying the human expressions too. But it still needs a lot of development, as deep understanding is still lacking somewhere. The next is disaster response. So in disaster response, the robots assist in search and rescue operations using vision and AI to navigate unpredictable environments. Then we have education and public engagement. So now robots are using museums right now to guide visitors and make learning more fun and interactive. And if we are using robots, then the knowledge, the guide whatever he's saying would be more accurate and more precise and would be able to answer back the questions which the visitors may have. Then we have smart agriculture. In this, robots help with the different stages of agriculture like planting, harvesting, and monitoring crops. This makes the real-time inspection easier and reduces the need for manual labor and ensures food sustainability. Then we have our industrial work. RP3 model robot is being developed, which is used in factories alongside humans. So knowledge system is being used here. They use advanced gripping methods and lifting mechanism for heavy payloads. So it is basically aiding the human work by reducing the heavy work of humans. Then next we have challenges as if there are benefits, there are also challenges which will later become the future scope of humanoids. So smooth motion is still a challenge for humanoids. Basically, ANP and deep reinforcement learning, which we have just talked about, they help the humanoid to be more human-like, but still there is a show that more work needs to be done for smooth human-like motion. And then we have emotional intelligence. That robots right now are far from achieving the emotional intelligence, the empathy, and in sensitive situations where we basically need human emotions like therapy. This could create a really major issue. So more development needs to be done in this basically area. Then we have multi-modal integration. This is that if we are integrating different models together like vision, touch and language into a cohesive understanding, it is still fragmented and will cause errors in its interaction or perception of the human response. Then we have hardware limitations that the joint flexibility and sensor accuracy, they still limit the robot from truly copying the human motion. That is still not majorly developed so that the motions will feel more smooth like our arm moves smoothly. We don't, हमारा जो movement है वो से रुकता नहीं है. But hardware जो अभी है, they are not very flexible, they are still rigid. Then we have equity and trust, which we have talked about before, which is R4SJ framework. That this framework is developed, but the major implementation is not done yet. That they say that humanoid design must consider fairness and trust and follow the E4SJ, four principles basically for social justice, which will promote equity in how roles are built and perceived in society. Then the last one is power dynamics and appearance bias. So basically, if we are talking to a robot, then we will have less trust in that, and the robot design will affect how much we trust them. Even their facial features can impact how human-like or competent we perceive them to be. So that is also a major last conclusion. So to conclude, humanoid robots are evolving from mechanical machines to emotionally intelligent adaptive partners, and with technologies like AI, natural language, and incremental learning, they are becoming more capable of working alongside humans and help them in major works. So we still have many challenges, but it's only showing that we are moving closer to the goal also. So thank you.
I have one question.
Yes.
So, humanoid robots, whenever there is conflict,
Sorry?
whenever there is a conflict in the learning process, how it is resolved?
Conflict in learning process.
In the learning process.
Learning process.
In
Learning
the learning process of this humanoid robots, this learning and we have mentioned different types of language models, LLM. So sometimes there is conflict between multiple schemes of learning.
So that is a challenge. Like I said, multi-models.
So whenever we have ambiguity, we have some conflicts. So how is the robot handling those conflicts?
So basically, like I said, the multi-model system, which will integrate all these models together, they are lacking this right now feature that they are not able to integrate them together. So the conflicts are rising and they don't really have a proper, because it's a review paper, so they are not able to have a proper mechanism where all the models could handle, the robot can use all the models together. So it's still fragmented and there are many errors and the nature, like some model can fail in between. The simulation is still going on and research is still going on. So it's basically a challenge. The third one, multimodal interaction gap, interaction of vision, touch and language still fragmented. That these models still have major development to be done. That's why it's a challenge.
What are you? Show me your references. Are you having reference? List of references.
List of references.
Thank you.
Which
You can ask participants if they have
Any
some
questions?
questions.
As we see, we have done read an in-depth review. We have found that we have done an in-depth review with the human robots, and our question is that how ethical issues should be resolved by these human robots?
For ethical issues, basically the R4SJ framework was developed, which is Robot for Social Justice. So this framework is based upon E4SJ, which is Ethics for Social Justice. This basically includes equity. That is how the robots should be able to interact with humans without any bias or discrimination, like gender bias, racial bias. Then we have accountability, that if there is any social harm, then the designer should be able to accept its failure. And then we have trust, that whatever the model is doing, that it should be correct. And then inclusion, that all the members should be members of society should be considered while developing this model, that even the people with disabilities would be able to do it. Basically, so that is why ethical, and it's a still developing model. So more, it's just a framework. The implementation is still there.
As you discussed about the YOLO robot also,
Yes.
so how can we implement it in this in solving this kind of issue?
So YOLO is basically you only look once model, which is used in CV, computer vision. So it will be used for fast object detection. Like in one glance, it will be able to detect the object and its movement, and is able to perceive how it can mimic the movement, or it can analyze the expression, movement, and what is needed to be done for the later part. So that's how tiny YOLO is used when we have decreased the size of the robot. So that is tiny YOLO.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you. That's all for this session's presentation. Now let's wait for the judge to decide the result.
वही पार्थ फोटोज खींचियो यार एक फोटो यहाँ खींच दियो बेस्ट का अवार्ड जो है उसका अरे यार मेरा कैमरा दिक्कत कर गया हीटअप मारेगा सर 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 सर
आशीष अग्रवाल का नंबर भी सेंड कर देना मैं भेज दूंगी आपको स्पीच है ना
इसको बंद कर दिया बोल दिया सर ने सर बंद कर दिया नहीं वो तो सर फोटो हो जाएगा वो डायरेक्ट करेगा
क्या फोटो लेने पड़ेंगे बेटा
ठीक है कर दे यार कोई इसको वैसे तो नीचे ही रखना है
So all the presenters are there, I think, who are doing the presentation. So, presenting all the presenters are giving the presentation. We have a combination of survey papers and two presentations. So, I'm supposed to mention only one presenter has presented, but all have done well. I'll tell a few points for each presenter how they can improve their content. The first presenter, one of the sequence which I have is Priya. She showed an algorithm. She can also mention different types of algorithms in which I had mentioned in the presentation. Whenever we have presentation, any seminar or conference, algorithm or flowchart should be in depth so that it has good weighting. But in an article, she mentioned different types of algorithms and she showed different plots that were very good. So the other presenter was the last one, Nandini Sharma. So she explained the survey article of human robots in depth. It was very informative. Analysis part was very good. Then she would explain also much she can add some more contents in explaining what are different types of LLM models. You can also have some case studies so that people have been much more enhanced of the work. But overall, the survey of humanoid robots is good. One or two case studies can also be an extension of where people are implemented and what are those. So the first presenter Jagdish Sharma has explained different learning techniques. It was good. She can enhance the depth of the content by explaining one or two models where people are implemented and analysis. So implementation can also add the content of the survey part. So number three, Ashraf Ahmed has explained his content. He has to increase his presentation skills. Even though it was limited starting point. I wish him good luck for the presentation so that he can add more content for his points, whatever slides you have, and add more visual content, more graphics techniques, more technical depth for his content. Then Aditya Singh has mentioned in 5G. So he has mentioned various 5G components which were introductory. He was taken one of the case studies in depth and explained just instead of touching the main survey point, main features of 5G. One or two main features it can be URLSD, even the mobile enhanced mobile broadband or master machine time and in-depth one or two case studies. Whenever we have a survey work, we should take one or two case studies and explain what is implementation. So the last one was Shubha Mishra. He has also given his presentation with various results. It was very good, but he did not show the implementation in the presentation. But I wish him good luck getting successful presentations in other conferences. In a flowchart or algorithm to add the content for his work. So all the presentation was very good. Since we have to select one presenter, so the answer set the presentation is in favor of